How to create complex technical books with FrameMaker, Part 2, Master, Reference, and Body Pages. Adobe FrameMaker is an authoring platform that enables you to create complex technical documents. I use Adobe FrameMaker to create books focusing on programming languages that I publish through my company, pulpfreepress.com. I also use it to create user manuals for photographic equipment that there is no user manual for, and stationery and other types of complex documents that are just beyond the capabilities of Microsoft Word. In this video, I want to give an overview of master pages, reference pages, and body pages, and then do a deeper dive and demonstration of how to work with master pages, how to create multi-column layouts, discuss left and right headers and footers, and page number variables, and then talk about reference pages and show you how you can create reference frames which allow you to then add specialized art and space above and below a paragraph, and how to define your own reference frames and format definitions and how those play a part in the automatic generation of table of contents and indexes. Every FrameMaker document contains a body page, which is where the primary content sits, and that's in the center of this diagram. A set of master pages, and one of those master pages would be assigned to the body page, and then a set of reference pages up to a max of 100, where the body page can pull elements from the reference page. And that's a little bit more tricky to understand, but once you get the swing of it, it'll make perfect sense. Now, a body page does not necessarily have to have a master page, but for complex technical documents, which is the focus of this video series, you're going to want to impose structure on your document. And if you're making a book, then you're going to have like a chapter, the first page of the chapter, a left and right page when you open the book. So you're going to assign master pages based on the function of the body page within the document. When you first open FrameMaker and open a document in FrameMaker or create a new document, you're going to get the body page view. To select the other types of pages, go to the View menu, scroll down, and at the bottom you'll see body pages, master pages, and reference pages. I recommend just going in to your FrameMaker and opening up the master pages and reference pages just to see how they differ from each other. Master pages. One master page can be assigned to each body page, although that's optional. But for complex technical documents, you're going to want to have that structure that master page provides to structure that body page. When you create a single-sided document, it'll have one master page by default, and that's named right. If you create a double-sided document, it has two default master pages, left and right. You can create additional master pages as required, and an example of why you would want to do that is if you have a book with multiple chapters and the first page of each chapter has a different layout from the rest of the pages within that chapter. And then in that case, you could call that master page first, and it would be assigned to the first page of each chapter. Now, the master page is set the overall page layout. This includes a column count and the flow of each column within the document, the placement and size of headers and footers, default page elements, etc. You can apply master pages to body pages automatically or manually. This illustration shows a set of master pages for a user manual. There are three master pages defined: left, right, and first. The left and right master pages define a two-column layout with headers and footers, and the first is completely blank. Notice the different positioning of content within the left and right footers based on whether or not it's the left master page or the right master page. And while simple, this set of master pages provides a critical service in formatting the content that's placed on the master pages for this user manual. Master Pages demo. Let's take a look at some master pages and how they are assigned to body pages. I'll open up a book here. This is C# for Artists, and I'll just open up I'll open up chapter 2. So this is the body page for chapter 2. Like I said earlier, when you first open up a document, that's your default view. So to change to master pages, you go to the view menu and master pages. So let me reduce the view. So you can see that there are 3 master pages assigned to this, or that belong to this document. And this one is left. So down here in the corner, it's hard to see. Down here at the bottom, it shows you what the name of it is, left. This one's right, and this one is first. Okay, so if we go to back to view, body pages, and I will increase the view back to 100 here, or 120. So here we can say format document. Let's see here. Customize layout. Page layout, master page usage. Okay. So the first page of this chapter is assigned to the first master page. And that's the way it is for all the chapters in the book, right? So there's going to be a first, left, and a right. And then from then on, this one is manually assigned, right? So first, assigned to the current page, and then the rest are even odd, right? So even left, odd right. If it's not assigned specifically, then if it's an even page, it'll be left, and if it's an odd page, it'll be right. Okay. Hit cancel. All right, so then let's go back to the master pages and take a look at the content here. So I'll make the view a little bit bigger. Well, we have a header section. Okay, let's go back up to the top. Here we have a header. Now it has running header footer 1, right? And then chapter 2. So this is text that is absolute text. I've typed that straight in. But this is a variable, and that will be updated with heading, I think it's heading 1, right? So whatever the primary headings are, that will be what goes up there in that header. And then at the bottom, I have this page number at the left here for, let's see, this is the left side, right? So this is the page number. And then copyright 2021 Pulp Free Press, that again, that's centered, and that's absolute text, along with C# for Artists, which is the name of the book. And you can see for the right master page, it's swapped, right? So the running header and footer is on the right-hand side for the right master page, and the name of the book or name of the chapter is on the left side of that header. Okay, and then again, the footer is also swapped around, right? And then for the first, there is no header text, but there is footer text. So that's the difference between the first and right, the first page or the first master page, and the left and right master page. Now this master page has a single column, text column. Okay, so I'll come over here and select that selector. And this is just a text frame, right? That contains it. That's divided into a single column. Let's open up another book, or a document, I should say. So I'll close this document. Let's go back to body page view and close it. I'll hit save. And let's see, so I'll close this book and I'll open let's go looking for the user manual. Data, desktop folders, equipment manuals, oops. Photo manuals. FrameMaker, pin text shift, and there we go. Open that one up. So now this is not a book. This is just a plain document. Okay, so we can see here that this is these are the body pages. Okay. Now let's take a look at the master pages. Okay, so these master pages, let me make them bigger. They are a left, right, and first. Notice that first has no content associated with it in the master page. And for the left, it has a header, footer, the dual column, okay, for the content area. And so this isn't, this is called a connected, this is also too an important point. This is a connected flow. This flow goes into this flow, all right? Whereas these are unconnected text flows. So they're not connected to anything. Now, if I were to type text, I have not actually tried this in person, but I think if you type text in here, it doesn't show up in the connected flow because your body content, let's go back and view the body, will override that. So here we have some body pages override their master pages layout. So I'm going to keep overrides. And the reason why is that this right here, if we go up to first, right, that's all body content right there. There's no, and it's using the first master page, but this is all content that's been added on the body page itself. Now, this is a double-sided. If we create a new book, let's see here. Yeah, so let's create a new document and play around with the master pages. So I'm going to close this document here. I'll hit save. And I'll say File, New Document. Okay. Now, let's see where I should add it. I'll just go into, this is, okay, so I'm using a Mac, right? This is Windows, and this is a VM. This is a Macintosh, right, host, and I'm using the VM. So I'm going to go to this PC. Let's see, Network, Mac, Technical Books. Okay, I'll go ahead and create a new folder. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. I always forget that. Create a new folder. All right. Temp. Okay. So let's create this document. I'm not going to use a template. I'm just going to say use blank paper. I'll say portrait. Sure, why not? There we go. All right. So I just created a document. It has, it's not going to be a book, just a document, right? So let me save it. File, save as. And I'm going back to desktop folders, technical books, temp document, and I'll call this temp doc. Now, so you created a brand new document. If we take a look, we have master pages. That's it right there. It's right, because you get a default master page when you create a document. Now the document is single-sided by default as well. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. And if we view the reference pages, which we're not really talking about reference pages now, but I just want you to take a look. You get a default set of reference pages. You get 6. Okay, even if you don't need them or don't use them, right? They're still there. So we'll go back to master page. Now, if we go format, page layout, okay, we can change the column layout, we can change the line layout, page side, pagination, master page, let's see here, document, numbering, footnote properties, text line numbers, page size, let's see, direction. We'll go to page layout. So column layout. So we can have one, margins, and update entire flow. We can have, before I change the columns, let's first make it a double-sided document. So I'm going to cancel this. Okay, to create, to turn this from a single-sided document, which it is, because it only has one master page, as we can see, we go to Format, Customize Layout, Page Layout, Pagination, and go from single-sided to double-sided. And we could say the first page side is the right. We can leave that for now. And we can say delete empty pages, because we'll go ahead and set. And then hit OK. Now what you'll see is it automatically created a second master page, right? So this one up at the top is the left. That's the one that's been added. And this one is the right. Okay. So let's now turn this into a multi-column document. So to do that, we go to Format, Page Layout, Column Layout. So here we have the number of columns. You could add room for side heads too. I'm not going to get too deep into the actual page layout stuff, right? I want to focus on master page, reference pages, and body pages. So I'll just say 2. Okay. Gap 2.5 width, side left, balance columns. I'll just go ahead and leave everything else. I'll update the entire flow, and that automatically turns that into a 2-column flow. Okay. Now, if we can save that, I'll say, escape. I'll say Control Save, and then switch back to body page. Of course, you can't tell. I mean, it does give you the guides for the body page, but there is no content in the header and the footer. So let's return to the master pages, and let's change that, right? So here's the left. Okay. So I'll just say, I'll just put something up here. Here's the left header, and here's the right header. And here is, I can insert a variable, but I'll just say left footer and right footer. Obviously, and hit save. Oops, man, I always hit the wrong button on this window machine. Save. View body pages, and now we'll see we have that text. Okay, this is the right because the right is the first page. In this case, we haven't made a change to that master page assignment. However, now we can go ahead and add some content here to the body page. So I'm going to add some content here. I'm just going to geek some text. Fake text here. I really need to do that lipsum lorem, but I'm not going to do that now. Just type some text in here. All right, and then just go ahead and copy that. Now, when it gets to the point where it's going to overflow, it'll create a new page, and the document just flows in together. Like that, and then it'll create another page. Okay, so we see here that as it's creating these pages, it's switching the left and right master page automatically. Now, what if we wanted one of these pages to be the first page of this? We could go into master pages, and we can create a new master page. So file, insert, add a master page. I'll name this one first. I'm just going to say empty. Okay. So here we have our empty master page. Now we could, let's see what we could do. We'll go ahead and add a text frame. This will be an unconnected frame. So we could just say, there's a frame. So now you get a choice here, right? Background text for headers, footers, and so on. So now this is really the difference between the footers and the headers. That text frame is what's called a background text frame. All right, that's what's going to add content that you see on your body page. The template for body page text frame would be like the dual column text flow. Those are called template frames. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to say one column, and it's going to be background. So add that. And then here, I can actually just insert text here. So I'll say this is background text. Which will appear on the page. Okay. I'll make this a little bit bigger. So here I'll go paragraph. I just call this, I would call this a heading. So I'm just going to make this a heading. And basic font. I'll make it bigger. I'll make it 18 points and apply. Okay, so we made that a little bit bigger. So now I will assign let's go back to the body page. View body pages. And I will create, I will assign the first page of this document to be the first master page. So format, master page usage. Excuse me. So on this particular one, I'm on the first page here. I'll say custom usage first and apply it to the page one. Okay, so hit apply. Okay. All right, now see here we have this background, and this text, or this flow, I should say, already appears here. So that's actually going to be an override for that background page. So if let me save this, and let's see here. Well, you can see that there is no header and footer on this first page, but we do have this flow. Now I could get rid of this flow. I could delete it. And let me just make sure that, you know, when I delete this flow, that the text will flow on to the next page, right? So if I wanted this to be absolutely blank, or I could just do this. I could say, you know, maybe I scrunch this down because I want to reserve this space, right? So the text is going to flow down, really. It's hard to see because all this text kind of looks the same, but when I make that adjustment, let me put something here that kind of shows. I'll just put a series of numbers. So here I'll say asterisk, asterisk, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we have this little marker section here so we can see the flow. So if I move this column back up again, then we'll see that that text flows back up. And right there it is, right? Flowed up pretty high. So there's the, let me select it, it's right here. There's the reflowed text, okay. If I were to delete this column altogether, or this frame, right? So let's see what happens, delete. Now it says deleting will leave this page empty since the section contains part of an auto-connected flow. New pages may be created to hold the displaced text. Yep, absolutely. So let's see if that's true. So we should see our marker number, and there it is, right? So the text reflowed. It's down here. That's our series of numbers, right? So the text reflowed. Now, here we have a completely, blank page, which is our master page, and we can put anything on this first page. And then the next page is going to be left, and then the next page will be right. Okay, so that's an example of master pages. Now, there's this great book, and when I get back to the presentation, I want to give you a recommendation that I use to get, like if you're looking for ideas for page layouts, right? There's lots of information nowadays on the internet, but I bought a book a long time ago at a used bookstore for $5, and it had a lot of great page layouts in it, right? So FrameMaker is powerful. Anyway, the purpose of the master page is to provide structure. You can have background content, background graphics if you want, right? You can assign custom master pages, usually in the case of a first page for a section or a chapter. But I'm really only scratching the surface, but it's time to move on to reference pages. Before moving on to reference pages, I'd like to touch again on the book I mentioned briefly earlier. That is Quick Solutions to Great Layouts, Everything You Need to Know to Create Dynamic Layouts by Graham Davis. Book's probably dated by today's standards, but it provides great background information on layouts and type font theory and design considerations. Like I said, I paid $5 for this at a used bookstore. There's tons of great information on the internet to help you with your layouts. Again, it's, you execute your structure of your document, which means your page layouts, in your master pages. And having ideas to look at, which are provided like in this book as an example, just great to help stir your creative juices. Reference pages. Reference pages contain graphics, text, conversion tables, format definitions, and other elements. I'm going to focus on reference frames and format definitions in this video. A set of default reference pages created with each new document. So in other words, when you create a document, you're going to get a handful, I think around 6 reference pages, and you may or may not use any of the stuff in the reference page, but it's there for use. The default content in a reference page includes reference frames for putting single or double lines above and below a paragraph, and HTML conversion of your document. So if you have, if you export your document to HTML, there's a table in that reference page that tells FrameMaker how to take the paragraph data that your document has and convert that to HTML formatting. Okay, and you can edit that to customize it as you see fit. You can add new reference pages as required, up to a limit of 100. This illustration shows the default set of reference pages when you create a new FrameMaker document. In the upper left hand, you'll see, it's all geeked, right? So don't even try to read it. But you see major themes here. You see a bunch of tables. Those are mostly your HTML conversion tables. You have some heading conversion tables down in the lower right-hand page. And your reference frames in the upper left-hand page. Like I say, this is just the default set. We'll get more into this when we do the reference page demo. Here's a bigger view of the first page of the reference pages, and you can see that you've got a footnote, table footnote, single line, and double line. Now, what you can read, like the word footnote, table footnote, single line, double line, that's just a text line in FrameMaker to help you understand what that frame is for. Each of those frames underneath of the text is an unanchored frame, and then you'll see, like in the footnote frame, there's just a single line, right? And then in the table footnote, it looks like it's blank, and then in the single line frame, it just looks like a black line, right? But that's actually in a frame. And in the double line, you see there's a double line, and then you see the dotted line. That's a double line, a graphic within a frame. And the use of these frames are for, like, in your advanced paragraph tag, formatting tag. So if you have a paragraph, let's say a heading, and you want to put a single line above that paragraph and below that paragraph, This is where you come in and your reference page gives you those elements that allow you to add the single line or the double line. You can add customized reference frames to suit your needs here on the reference pages and use those in your paragraphs as well, right? So you can get really creative with this stuff. Reference pages demo. Okay, let's talk about reference pages. I'm going to open up the sample book that I created in the first part of this video series. So I'll go up here to, of course it's not going to show up there on the thing, so open. Desktop folders, technical books, sample book, master book file, and sample book. All right, now I'm going to open up chapter N. And again, the purpose of chapter N, right, was so that we build up our formatting, paragraph and styles, etc. And then we can copy that into our other chapters in the book. Remember, the name of the game is we're going for complex technical books, right? So if you want to create a set of or look and feel from scratch, then that's the approach that you probably take, unless you use a template. Either you bought a template or you're using a template out of the box, and I'll make a whole separate video on how to use templates and create your own custom templates. But this topic is on reference pages. So we talked about master pages, and obviously this book has master pages. So if we view the master pages, we can see that there's a left and a right and a first. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the top. Oh, there is no first, right? So I haven't even created a first for these sections, right? So I'm not going to probably do that right now, but let's talk reference pages. So we're going to view reference pages, right? Now we see here, let me make this a little bit bigger. We've got footnote. These are called the reference frames, and that's on page 1 of the reference pages. Then we have an HTML mapping table. We have a few of those. Now, if you don't save your document as HTML, then it's not going to use these, but that's what this is for. We have some system macro tables. I'll create another video on macros. Character replacement macros, and then headings table. So FrameMaker uses some of this stuff when it performs conversions. But however, how do you access these references, right? So when you use footnotes, this will be like a line that delineates like the beginning of the footnote section. But we'll take a look at single line, double line, and how do you use these, right, for paragraph formatting. So let's try that. So we're going to go back to the body page. Here we have a heading, right? So it has a line on top and a line on the bottom. How did it get that way? So in the advanced, so we have paragraph formatting, the paragraph designer over here on the right, advanced tab, okay, and then down at the bottom we have frame above and frame below. So if I put none for those and hit apply, then those two lines go away. Now, where am I getting those lines from? I'm getting them from the reference pages here. So there's a single line. Now, when you create a frame, I'll show you what I'm talking about. You create this reference frame here, and let's see if I can get the properties. Ooh, object properties. No, it's not there. All right. So when I create a frame, I'll show you what I mean. But anyway, the name of this frame and this name are completely different. This is just a line of text that enables you, the human, to see what the name of that reference frame is. This one's a double line, so the name of that frame. Now notice that these frames can have space, right? So this double line, this frame can be extended if you so desired. And how does that come into play when you actually use these things, right? So let me go up here, select this frame and make it a little bit wider or taller. Okay, now I'm going to hit save. Well, there I go, hit the wrong key. So control save and go back to body table. So view body pages, excuse me. So I'm going to select heading, all right, and advanced. So here I will put single line on top and single line on the bottom and hit apply. So it's hard to see, but there is the one on the top, because I added space in the frame below it, is actually a little bit higher above that heading text. So let me add some space above that frame in the reference page. So if we go view reference pages, select this and actually drag this higher like that. Now I can move this frame, right? It's I'll grab the line. Let's do this. Just make that right there. Now this whole frame, you can move and reposition this frame. Like, it doesn't really matter where it's at here. Okay. But I'm going to add space above that line and space below that line. It's this whole frame gets put, above and below, or just above, or just below, or both above and below the paragraph. So save this file, return to the body pages, and you can see that I've increased my space between the top of the heading and the bottom of the heading text. All right. Now, shading is something that people like to do for headings in Microsoft Word. Now, that's not strictly a reference page function, so I'm not going to cover that right now. I'll cover that in the next demo when I talk about body pages in general. But anyway, now let's create our own reference frame and use it in a paragraph formatting. All right, so I'm going to go back to reference pages, and I'm just going to draw a text frame here. So I'll call it, well, I'm not going to call it anything, but when you draw an unconnected reference or a frame, when I let up off the mouse button, I'm going to get a window that should give me a name. That didn't happen, so let me try that again. Let me select this, delete, and create that frame. Okay. Well, let me type something in it here. So to add a frame, you have to select the graphics frame. So this is a text frame, this is a graphics frame. So we will put, we'll do this. And then we'll get a chance to name the frame, right? So I'll call this gray line, okay? And I'll hit set, hit OK. And then I will go ahead and add a line inside of this frame and make sure it's straight. And hit OK. And then I'll make this line wider, like this. And then I will change the shading of this line to, I'll say, light gray, like that. All right. So you see now how the frame, the width of the frame here, I'll make this frame a little bit narrower, like this. And I'll hit save. Now I will use this in my paragraph formatting. So go back to body page, heading. I'm selecting my heading text here, and advanced tab. And then instead of having a single line, I'll have gray line, which shows up now in the drop downs, and hit apply. And we see that we've changed the upper, the line above and line below. Now it doesn't just have to be a line, right? You could have any graphic that you can create, right? So let's create one more. So go back to view reference pages and add another graphics frame. Oh, one thing I didn't do is I should name this gray line, right? So you can't tell the name is a gray line because that, when I named it, that was pretty much for FrameMaker's internal use, right? So I'm going to head and move that frame down, and I'm going to use a text line to just type in gray line. Oh, gray line, like this. Okay. Now, here is character formatting. I don't have that one shown. I'll just leave it like that. Okay. But I need to change that font for there. That font is Peoria. All right, but anyway, that shows me what the name of the line is, right? So that gray line is this graphics frame right here. So let's create another graphics frame while we're on the topic here. I'll bring this down a little bit farther, and I'll just make it, let me see, I'll make it this wide, and I'll call it warning. Okay. Hit OK. Now I'll add the text line here to just say this is a warning. And then I'll create a box. Well, let me see. I think I'll go in here and do a text line and just say warning. Warning, right? So let me position this, center this frame. Oops. That'll take some playing around. All right, now I'm going to add a box to this, and I might make it, well, I'll just go ahead and do that, and I'll have to do the graphics, arrange, send to back. Okay, there we go. Let me change the thickness on that warning box. That looks a little bit better. Okay, so now we have this warning that's inside of this frame. Now let's see if we add a warning to a paragraph. Okay, so Control Save, and let's go back to the body pages, select heading, paragraph designer, advanced, and we'll say warning above. Hit apply, and now we have got our warning automatically applied to above. So really what you're doing is you've got the ability to create a frame above and below automatically to a particular paragraph. Okay, doesn't have to be a heading. In this case, I'm just using this heading as an example, but it could be any paragraph. All right. You know, this is a way where with these frames you can create space above and below, place graphics automatically based on the paragraph type, right? And however you structure your paragraph, right, you can do whatever you can dream of doing, right? So that's pretty cool. But reference pages. Now the other use of reference pages is for formatting. So they hold format. Besides these, now in this particular case, this chapter, this is represents a typical chapter in this book, right? So let me save this, Control Save, and go to well, let's go back and look at the reference pages. And other than here, so view. Let me make sure I got this saved. Saved. I'll close them and open it back up again. View reference pages. Okay, so I'm going to scroll all the way down to through here. We see we've got HTML mapping table, system macros, and headings table. Now, let's go to body pages. Save. I'm going to close chapter 1. Let's go to list of table or list table of contents. Let's do table of contents. So here we have a table of contents. So this table of contents is very boring. So let me automatically generate. Okay, so I'm updating the book. I went through this in the previous video, part 1. And that's what happens, right? It's automatically reading through chapter N, which has heading, It has subheading. First off, it has this title. So we go up here, we see it's chapter title. And then we have heading, subheading 1, subheading 2, subheading 3, table title, right? Those are some of the formats that we have currently in chapter N, which is a very small amount. I mean, a book has tons of formatting for depending on the type of technical content that it contains, right? So we're going to go back to, we can close chapter N and focus on the table of contents. Now, if I wanted to format table, this chapter title, right? Then in my font, so you'll notice here, first off, we have these automatically generated text that's been placed on the body page. All right, so let's take a look at the reference page. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the end, because this is where it gets interesting, is when you create a table of contents, FrameMaker puts in a little extra stuff here that says, oh, here's your formats for the new formats that I've created to represent your table of content entries. So this is subheading 3 TOC. This line down here is chapter title TOC. So these formats are going to be used in the table of contents. So let's revert back to the body page view. And I'm going to apply some formatting to chapter title TOC. That's our style. So I'm going to make this Peoria. It's one of the, I like these fonts for headings and stuff. I'll make it size 18 so we can see it. I'll actually increase the view here so you can see that a little bit better. And so here we go. This is chapter title POC. Sorry. Select that one more time. Peoria. Size 18. Apply. Okay, so there's our application, but here we have a page number. Now, if I hit update style, now if I do an audit, if I update the book, let's see what happens. Update. Okay, so it updated and this format took place, right? So, however, if I apply tabs to this number, right, then let's go to basic, add tab stops, right? I'm going to edit, and I'll say 6.5, oops, 6.5. I'm going to align it right, and I'm going to add a leader to it, dots, and hit continue. And then up here, well, first I'm going to say apply, and it applies that formatting to that tab stop. Okay, update style, and then save the document. Now let's see what happens if we regenerate the book. So I'm going to regenerate the book. Okay, great, it worked. All right, so the trick is here, you've got to make sure that you update your style. So apply, and then update the style. So if I close this, oops, let me just hit save. All right. Open up TOC. Okay, I'm going to re-update, apply everything, update, and that's how it takes. Okay, so now for heading. Okay, now if we go into the sample, let's go into look at the reference page. What has happened with our formatting? So reference pages. Scroll down to the end. And we see that our title formatting has added the necessary tab, right? So this is what it references. When it automatically generates your table of contents, the formatting of these format definitions will be applied to the data that it pulls out of your files, and then it creates your table of contents right? So that's really the key takeaway here. So let's do one more just to drive the point home. So I'm going to go back to the body page for the table of contents and heading. I'm going to go ahead and make that, I'll say, let's go left by 0.15. Let's be 1.2. And then left by 0.12. All right, nothing above, nothing below. Apply. For the font, I'll use Peoria. And I'll make that size 14. Hit apply. Update style. And then for the basic, I'll go back here and I'll create a new tab. Edit. 6.5. Right 3 dots. Hit continue. Okay. Apply. And then update style. And then save. Now let's regenerate our book. Okay, we're going to automatically all cross-reference, all text, mini TOC, generate table of contents. You could apply master pages here too, right? I don't have any master pages. Well, I do have, but I haven't actually created any for the table of contents specifically. So go ahead and hit update. All right. So obviously this needs a little bit of work, right? Because this didn't come all the way out. Might want to make that farther because it's a smaller font. All right. But anyway, that's how you format. That's the purpose of the format definitions in your reference pages. That's really the key takeaway here. Now, if you wanted to add master pages to your table of contents, just like regular master pages, you could view the master page. Hang on one second. Let me save this. Control save. View master pages. So you only have one, right? Because yeah, it just only has one. You can create a left and right master page. You can, let's see here. Let's make this document here. Let's see, right. So select this document. Format, page layout, pagination. We have to change this to a double-sided and hit set. Okay. So now our table of contents is double-sided. Okay. And then if we wanted a separate first page for the table of contents, we could create a new master page. Okay. So format, let's see, insert, add master page. And I'm going to call this first. I'll make it empty. All right. And then here, I could just do, you could just add text if you wanted to. You could say, this is your table of contents. You can make this as big as you wanted. This is a line of text, right? It's not inside of a text flow. So we'll go to font and I'll go ahead and do Peoria. And I'll make this 36. Apply. All right, try that again. Oh, I'm getting an error here. Hang on one second. Let me get rid of that. So text. LMNOP. I'm getting lost in the list here. There we go. Peoria. Size 36. All right. All right. No insertion point. You're killing me. Let me just save this. Control save. Right. Okay, I finally pulled my head out of my booty. So this is not a paragraph, right? So I was trying to apply paragraph formatting. This is just a plain old character. All right, so character catalog. I have to show another tab here. So table, window, see view, toolbars, panels, character designer. There we go. So I'm going to say that the family is going to be Peoria. Peoria, size 36, apply. So let's just select this here. There we go. Size 36, Peoria, apply. All right, now we're cooking with gas. So let's select this over here. And I'm just going to, I could turn on rulers. So view, rulers, that helps. Okay, now when I place my font, I can, so 8.5 by 11, so 4.25. Yeah, I'll put it right about there. And then maybe add some embellishments. So I'll make a line like here. Okay, table of contents. And maybe I'll make 2 of these. Control C, Control V. Okay, maybe another one. Control V. Like this. All right, doesn't have to be fancy. And then maybe in one more line that comes down like this. And I'll make that a little bit wider. Like that. Okay, that doesn't look great, but anyway, that's table of contents. So what I'll do with this is, all right, so hit save. This is a master page. Control save. And then view body pages. Okay. But now let me assign it. So format, let me see. Format, page layout, master page usage. So custom, first on the current page, apply. Okay, now we see the table of contents. Let me pull down the column. Okay, just like this. All right, so we could clean up that little embellishment up there at the top. Control save. Now let's automatically generate the book and see what happens. Update. There we go. All right, so there's your master page. There's your body page. There's your master page for that body page. Okay, and then just rearranging that content on that body page is as simple as, you know, grabbing everything. Yeah, oops. There we go. I got some extra stuff there. Delete. Okay. All right. So just grab everything and bring it over so it looks halfway decent. All right, save, and then view your body pages. Keep overrides, right? So in other words, there's an override. So let's see what happens if we remove the override. Then that text column might shoot back up there. Hit OK, continue, OK. No, it didn't. But that doesn't mean it won't at some point in the future. But this is this is an override because, well, actually, there is no, right? There is no text column, so it should be good to go, right? If we go back to the body page, view the master page, there is no text column on that page. The text column's over here, right? So the fact that, you know, this this text column, what do you say? Keep overrides, continue. This text column is kind of a holdover from the one that was on the original page, right? But this would be fine. Now, depending on how you want to arrange the look and feel of your your pages, right? Then you manipulate the pages accordingly. But the most important part is this is the reference pages demo, is these formats are being drawn up from the reference page, the reference format definitions on the reference page, right? So that's why they get automatically generated when you automatically update your book. And the same holds for your index, right? Here we have no special formatting, so you would you have these index TOCs. See what style this is. This is characters. We have to go to paragraph. Right. So this is group titles index. This is group titles index, and this would be level 1 index. That's a level 1 index. Okay. You can have multiple levels in your index. But these are the styles that were automatically generated by FrameMaker when it created the index. And if you look through the reference pages, you'll see that if we scroll down to the end, we have these formats, definitions for your index entries, right? And these are what has to be formatted in order to get your index looking good. Now, the other thing about the index is it is... let's close the table of contents. We'll save that. List of figures, we can save that, right? So the table of contents, let's view that body page again, and we'll see that it's just a single column and it's one page, right? So here we would have to format the page layout for pagination. We have to make it double-sided. Hit OK. All right, so that's going to add another master page. So if we view the master pages, we'll see that there's now 2 master pages. And you can, of course, have a separate master pages for a master page for the first page of the index, right? The other thing, too, is usually indexes are not just one column. They're 2 columns or 3 columns, right, depending on the size. Let's see how I did my technical book. So we'll go up here and go Open Recent C# book. Okay. So open up the index on the C# book, and it's a 3 column layout. Okay. So now let's return to the sample book. I'll close this file and close the book and return to the index of the sample book. And then we are going to format the page layout, column layout, and we'll make this 3 column layout. Update the entire flow. There we go. Now we've got 3 columns. Okay, so that's reference pages and with a little bit more body pages thrown in for good measure. Body pages. Body pages contain primary content. You can type content straight into the flow defined by the master pages, or you can import from like Microsoft Word into the document. The structure of the body page is based upon the assigned master page, but you can add to or override the structure as you see fit. You're not stuck with the master page layout per se, right? You can change it up on the body page itself. You can add to it. You know, you can make it look however you want. That's called an override in FrameMaker. A body page can use elements contained in reference pages, and we saw examples of this in the previous demo, where reference frames were accessed by the Paragraph Designer Advanced tab to put a line above and below a paragraph, or whatever custom graphic you could put in the reference page above and below the paragraph. We also saw an example of format definitions which were added to the reference page. So for example, in the table of contents, we saw you could format the special paragraph formats provided when you generated the table of contents, and then when you automatically update the book, those paragraph definitions are automatically applied to whatever paragraph styles it pulls for that table of contents. And the same applies to the index as well. So here we have two sets of body pages, one from that user manual that we've seen and one from the book C# for Artists. So the document on the left is not a book, it's just a document. And you see that the first page of this user manual, which has the first page master page assigned to it, all that content is placed on the body page. Then the next page is a left, I think, master page assigned to that body page. And you see that all the content there is added to the body page, but the structure of that content with regards to the two-column flow is defined by the master page. Now for the book on the right-hand side, you see there's multiple chapters, right? And I think this is chapter 2, page 26 or whatever that is. I can't read it. It's even too small for me. But anyway, that's a very complex layout. And that layout that you see there is inside of a frame that's inside of a column that is defined by the master page. And that is directly added. This is what I love about FrameMaker, man. You can do just about anything you can imagine inside of a document. And you would be fighting with octopuses in Microsoft Word to come anywhere close to this, right? So FrameMaker is the deal. It's the real deal, man. So anyway, let's see a demo on body pages. Body page demo. So body pages, you should know by now, consist of a master page that's associated with it, which gives us its primary structure, and any elements that you use from the reference pages. One thing we didn't talk about on the reference pages section is the fact that you can put in text and graphics that you can copy and paste into your body pages if you need to that way. I don't usually do that personally, but that is an option. All right, so here we have a book, and these are the body pages that you're looking at. So you just add content as required. Right? I guess the biggest thing is you can override the master page structure. So let's take a look at that. I'll close the book down and just return back to the temporary document. So this is just a document. It's not a book, just a plain old document, right? And we have our first master page that's associated with the first page of the document. This is background text, which will appear on the page. That's on the master document. But I can add anything else I want to this document in any particular location, right? So there's a text column I'm adding there. There's another text column I'm adding here. Okay, and that's the beautiful thing about FrameMaker is you can put stuff anywhere you want, right? If I want to have this stuff overlapping a little bit, I could do this, right? So let's go ahead and add text here. So here's some text here. Let me just geek this stuff. Isn't this fun watching me do this? Okay, let me just copy this and make it faster. Doo-doo. All right. Now these columns aren't connected, right? So if I just keep on going, you'll see the black line there. It's pretty much, would just keep flowing down, right? So I could extend this column if I wanted to, or I could connect these columns together and make the text flow like that. Let's see. So if I connect these two here, like that one and this one, let's see, format. Page layout, update column layout, pagination. So you I'll select that text frame and that text frame and this text frame. And go ahead and go format, customize layout, connect text frames. Oh, it says select one at a time. Okay, let's do this one. I'll do this one here first. Let me do this. That one and this one. And format, customize layout. Okay. So, and then now I'll do this one and this one if I wanted it to be that way. So format, customize layout. All right, so now let's see what happens here. So I think I'll adjust this so we don't have that overflow. And there we go. So you see how the text flowed into this one. Now if I keep on adding text here, hit return, Control V. All right, so let me reposition this text frame so we can see it better. So that's how, so anyway, sometimes you get these, you have to refresh that page. Okay, so this text frame flows into this text, the top text frame flows into this text frame, flows into that text frame. That, to me, is one of the coolest features of FrameMaker, right? So now this is body page stuff on the first page of the chapter or the document here. And of course, if we go back and look at the master page, there's nothing, right? We have this text frame here, which I can actually choke this up a little bit without any change to the first page. So save that and then switch back to the body page view. So you can have complex graphics, complex layouts with your text flowing all over the place in in different text frames that are connected sequentially with each other, and then the text will automatically flow between these. And that's it. That's pretty much the introduction to master pages, reference pages, and body pages. Stick around. Stay tuned, I should say, for more videos in this series on creating complex books with FrameMaker. And thank you for your time.